Yeah, Black Panther, and now we've all have seen it. Black Panther movie is breaking box office records.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, T'Challa is Marvel's new best boy, winning box office gold.
Yeah.
You should go see Black Panther today.
Best
It is
Avenger.
winning Oscars every way. You must say the Black Panther today. Marvel's most different movie to date. Okay, if you haven't guessed by now, today's episode is about Black Panther.
Yes.
Okay, I have to know. Did you write this beforehand, or did you just sing that on top of your head?
No, Lewis, you just asked me that, and you should know by now that all I ever do is improv like 10 times a day.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Isn't that amazing, people listening to this?
That's all we do. Anyway, hi there, everybody. On this most auspicious of nights, I am your host, Starbeastrave. But you don't care about that. You just want me to introduce the other guys. There's a lake with too many sevens.
Hey.
There's a demon with too many grocery stores.
There is.
And there's my dearest, darlingest Malcolm Powder, who we all know as Malcolm Ray. And we're all here to talk about big black cats, so let's get to that.
Perfect. This topic is relevant.
Now, I think that, like most people, we are all of the same mind that this movie was pretty darn kick-ass. I personally enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, I will say right now, it is in my top 5, maybe even 3. I have to think about it, but at least top 5 Marvel movies so far.
Yeah, it's
Three
Other
for
than
me,
if-
it's
definitely.
Well, other than if-
definitely in the top 3 for me. And I
It only has
I give
tiny nitpicks, but other than that, it is a wonderful, wonderful, definitely in the top 5.
yeah, same. I give it, honestly, it's probably my favorite as far as story and character go. Like
Makes
I
sense.
would put it number 1 personally for me as far as story and character go.
Well, and you know what? One reason for that, I think, personally, is because unlike the other standalone Marvel movies, it is not an origin story.
Yeah, exactly.
It's continuing.
Yeah, it's a continuation.
continuation.
It's right there
Yeah.
in line with a character that we've already established in a previous
Right.
movie. And, I mean, you can see this movie on its own, and you'll already be able to get an idea.
Yeah.
You'll be able to grasp the concept of who T'Challa is, who Black Panther is, and, you know...
Even who Killmonger is.
Yeah, and even who
I'll-
Killmonger is.
yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
very well written, and it's such a precise story.
It is. I was actually, during the beginning, I was afraid that it was going to be an origin story because it starts off with little baby Panther and Mufasa looking up at the sky, you know, discussing the origins of
No,
the
actually, no.
space rock.
That was Killmonger and his father. So
Well,
believe.
whatever. Whoever was, I thought it was going to be an origin story because of Baby and Daddy talking about magic space rock that come to Earth and create Black Panther.
Right. Yeah, I'm glad they didn't do that. They just, let it lay as it was, and they just went right into the initiating conflict of the story, which was great. It's like,
They did.
here...
They cut straight to the hood, and they showed us the characters. And honestly, that's a good move. I like
Yeah.
that.
I mean,
17 films later, they managed to get to fast forward through all that and get to the good parts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
since we're talking about the beginning of the movie, that may be one of my favorite moments in the entire movie. Just that, because it really sets the tone, and it tells you from the get-go that this is going to be very different Marvel movie. I mean, like Paul said, we're starting in Oakland. It's not Wakanda, but it's like this. It looks like it's about to be a crime scene almost, and then suddenly, you're not expecting a superhero moment. You're not expecting, a Black Panther to just show up in the middle of this room in the middle of the neighborhood in Oakland, but there he is, and it shifts the tone so perfectly.
Yeah. It's well interwoven commentary without it taking the forefront of the story. It's present.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take over the superhero movie, and that's what I love. It's like
No.
they're just letting it lay, like they're letting the pieces fall where they lay. Like everything lines up perfectly. Just like these characters, they live in Oakland, but they have origins in Wakanda, and I think that's a brilliant tie-in. It's a brilliant tie-in.
I mean,
And once they establish that, he does his thing, and then he just takes off on his luxurious spacecraft. Which, I'm sorry, am I the only one who wanted to hear the King's theme from Coming to America every time somebody got in that ship?
I was really hoping
Dun-dun-dun.
Eddie Murphy would cameo, but
Just I wanted to hear the
But speaking
every time they got in
of
that
music,
ship.
the soundtrack on this movie was fantastic. It is fantastic.
Yeah,
glorious.
It really is. You know what?
Kendrick
I will say it might have the best.
completely
It might have the
curated.
best soundtrack in the entire MCU.
Honestly,
I love how it managed to fuse like the technological aspect with the African culture aspect. I didn't know what to expect, and the music was just so unique and stands out all on its own.
That's Wakanda in a nutshell,
That's
though.
Wakanda. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Wakanda in a nutshell. It's mixing African culture with futuristic design.
I think the term is
just really brought that
Afrofuturism,
forward.
but
Yeah. It's a
term.
revisionist sort of take on.
There you go.
know,
Yeah,
on
that's a good word
African
for
culture. And it's awesome. It's fantastic. You know.
I mean, I know nothing about African tribes, but I totally believe that a lot of that stuff was legit and based on real things.
Oh yeah.
no,
as far as like rituals and whatnot, a lot of it.
they did
As
their
far as the
homework.
masks.
I mean, the director and the costume designers broke it down on Twitter. I remember they were showing the different characters and the costumes, and they're like, you see this piece belongs to the tribe of this, and this piece was inspired by the tribe of that, and it's like they really did the research and they really married that into like this sort of collective that was. I mean, you saw it; it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they did more than that. They gave every tribe their own kind of little secret power. Like, you had one I liked is that I mean, I guess I'm going to go into spoilers here, but the treacherous friend, him and his little tribe, they had this sort of a cape thing going on that turns into energy shields. That was their thing. And then you had there were also the Rhino Riders, but then you had that gorilla tribe who their big thing was big offensive weapons. You know, each tribe had their own kind of little futuristic but also tribal kind of thing. I liked it.
Yeah, I think they were all like worshipping of an animal. I mean, maybe not. I think the one was the river tribe.
Inspired by.
So maybe
Yeah.
that's
They all had
elements.
their-
So.
Yeah. It was just more so attributing an elemental.
But I think that the beauty of it, the beauty of Wakanda, I feel like it really resonates in the sense that this is a culture that has, because they're talking about colonialism, which I mean is amazing. That I love it. Colonialism is now mainstream. That we could talk about it in this way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And they're showing that this culture that stayed above it, that was never touched by colonialism, and they kept their identity, but that keeping that identity never prevented them from achieving, the same, even greater actually, developments both in technology, medicine, all that stuff. They're obviously
because they had the resources. They were sitting on top of all that vibranium, and they found it and they figured out what to do with it, and they were able to grow and thrive. And that was a beautiful thing. And while they were an ethno-state, as a lot of alt-right people like to point out, you say Wakanda's an ethno-state, they have borders and they're keeping out, all of the riffraff. It's like, but that was them figuring it out. They were growing. And although Killmonger was, viciously attacking them for being closed off to the rest of the world, he was bitter about it. He did make a point. And in the end, Wakanda did eventually open up, and they decided to, start sharing their technology with, the rest of the world. So,
and T'Challa realized that because it was. It was a battle of extremes. T'Challa, I mean, okay, we have Killmonger who wants Wakanda to nut up and get out there, but in an offensive way. And then we have the Elders who don't ever want Wakanda to go. T'Challa was the happy medium. We can do Killmonger's way, but in a much better, more peaceful way that helps without hurting.
Yeah, exactly, without destroying the world.
Happy medium.
And,
right.
Yeah, which made, it just added so many layers, just the entire concept of Wakanda.
Yeah, because let's touch on that for a moment, because everybody's, claiming, and I agree, that that Killmonger is the best Marvel movie villain to date, and
I'd say so personally.
If we're talking about the movies, I would definitely put him in the top 3. Is he the best one? I really want to see it again and think it over, but easily in the top 3, and that's not that's a high bar. Let's be honest. I mean, the best thing they've got going is Loki and
Vulture.
Well, I've been hearing a lot about this guy being top villain, and I get it. I really do. Here's my 2 cents. If you want to hear, I think he's written one of the best. He's at his story arc, his motives. He's written one of the best. Absolutely. The actor himself, I gotta say, he kind of phoned it in a little bit. I don't know. It just there was no fire in him.
You felt like he phoned it in? I thought he did pretty good.
Well, no. The actor was fine. I was expecting more rage.
More rage?
For a guy who's so angry and such a killer, I don't know. There was just points where he was fighting and where he was taking over. Like, some parts were great. I loved his duel with T'Challa. He acted exactly as he should. Calm, in control, but dominating. But then there are parts like during the last battle where he just like saying, I don't need a suit to kill you. Like, how about some oomph in your voice there, King?
Yeah.
I don't need a suit to kill you. You know?
I think that was more so on the editor's choice. Like, I feel like there were more takes of that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there were some technical errors with
my
Black Panther.
If that's the case, then my criticisms can go to the editor. But like I said, I had nothing wrong with the actor. I thought the character was written beautifully. He looked right. He sounded right. He acted right.
But
I just thought that there were a couple. I just thought there were a couple moments. Right.
Yeah.
There are some moments where he's and there are some moments where he's trying to be cool, and I'm like, dude, pick a tone.
Right.
No, I like them more than that. I mean, I think my only real issue with Killmonger would be... I mean, yeah, I can see what you mean. There maybe was one or two scenes that I can think of where, yeah, he could have definitely brought it more. But that's not to say that what he did was bad, especially not overall. There are scenes like the duel in the waterfall.
He was bad.
The one where he reveals himself to the council. That scene, I think that was his best scene, personally, where he's just
because he matched the tone.
The face just spoke so many levels of his disgust at the council and their choice to hide, and just like so his arrogance, but it was arrogance that was well earned. I mean, that was a good scene, especially when they were like, "Who are you? Ask me. Who? Come on, why didn't you tell us who you are? Ask me." You know, just like I was feeling it.
I was mainly referring to times where he should be screaming, like he's pitched in a big battle and he's still acting like he's on the playground. That's
that's the one issue. The one full issue I had with the character. Like you said, he was written beautifully, and the acting, maybe had some downs, but overall I think it was mostly up. But the main problem for it was I just feel like he needed more charisma. He had like that rough charisma when he was making his point, but I felt more like, okay, you're angry, validly angry, You're pissed, you have a plan, one that's taken to the extreme, but I feel like to sell that, you can't just be pissed off all the time. I mean, you had to have a moment or two where you show us, I don't know, like, if you're going to get people on your side, you can't be like that. Nobody's going to go to the side with somebody who's yelling and punching and burning plants all the time, you know what I mean?
Okay, but he's a dictator. I mean, I'm sure he didn't mean to be a dictator, but he was a dictator. So that's
I feel like the way that like T'Challa's friend goes over to his side. Like, I believe that he killed Claude. He has a reason, but I feel like if they had made him a little bit like give him a moment where he's like he originally tries to seem like I will care about my people. I'm here not just to kill the enemies, but also to save my people. I mean, he's saying that, but I'm not feeling that.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. He didn't really need as much charisma because, I don't know if you noticed, but the people in Wakanda, and I like this aspect of them, they are fiercely loyal to the throne.
They are.
Especially General,
they're very
General Lady.
Yeah, they're traditional.
They're
big.
So he didn't need a lot of passion.
Even though she liked T'Challa. She wanted to serve T'Challa, but he wasn't the king, so she had to be loyal to T'Challa.
I love that. Yeah. The only time when she finally, betray Killmongers is when, there's a reason to. Like, oh, T'Challa is alive, therefore there's a technicality that says I'm still loyal to him. Fuck you, boyfriend.
Right.
But until there was a technicality, she would not budge, and I love that in a character, that sort of commitment.
Yeah, she kind of announced it, though. She turned on Killmonger when he was, being just relentless and brutal. She very much openly stated, she was like, you are not fit to hold the throne. Yeah. You're not fit to sit on the throne.
Yeah, but that was after T'Challa revealed himself.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, it's in tandem with that.
But, come on. You know she would have done that even if he hadn't shown up.
Probably on the long run, yeah. I'm pretty sure, day one of the plan. But that's kind of my point. I mean, that's my point with Killmonger. He was too much... He was too much of a dick. I'm like, you have a valid point, but you also need to, give people make it more conflicted, because nobody was on your team except Wakabi, and because you killed the guy who killed his parents. So, but that's all you had. That's all the sympathy you had from the other Wakandans. I feel like he needed to have a moment where he really saw that, to give people the doubt. You're like, maybe he's not bad. Maybe he has a point. Maybe, because he has a point.
Even so, he has a valid reason. He was just overly aggressive with it. It's like
again, this is a nitpick for me. I'm not saying this ruined the movie or anything.
Right. Oh yeah, no. I mean, but it's great. We're able to like talk about the layers of this movie, and where its strengths were, and where it's where it could use some work.
It's not like other Marvel movies where some of them are so simplified that there are no layers. There's good guy, there is bad guy. They're easy to predict. They're easy to figure out, and you don't feel any sympathy for them when things go wrong.
Yeah, it's very.
At least I did feel sympathy for this guy.
Yeah. Because, I mean, generally in most Marvel movies, it's like, this is a good guy, this is a bad guy, and then everybody starts talking like Tony Stark, and you're like, oh, this is pretty funny, I guess. I mean, it's still entertaining.
Speaking of which, Shuri is better than Tony Stark. I will say that right now.
Oh, yeah.
She's the person in the MCU.
I'm with you.
Kind of amazing. Made literal sneakers.
She was kind.
Actually liked.
Yeah, she was adorable.
Actually liked everybody in his tribe. I liked everybody on Team T'Challa.
No, but I'm with Anthony in that because I'm seeing a lot of people get butthurt about like, oh, how dare they say that Shuri is smarter than Tony Stark? Like, dude, she's like quarter of his age and she's already making equally complicated fighting suits, and she invented sneakers. Enough said, man.
Yeah, sneakers.
Well, she kind of is. I mean, dude, she's talking about things that even Tony wouldn't have no knowledge of, because guess what? Wakandan technology isn't a part of the world yet,
exactly.
So she kind of is.
Yeah, she's kind of just
why is it a competition? I mean, can we just say they're both geniuses and making cool stuff? Why is it going to be like...
Exactly. And that's interesting.
Yeah, but... That's how geeks are, though. They have to have everyone compete.
Yeah. And, there's so many dynamics at work here that people are afraid to admit. It's that you've got, this incredible strong female presence. You've got this incredibly strong, black presence. I mean, the social commentary is there, and then, people want to suddenly turn it, into... They feel like a lot of people feel like it is a competition. A lot of people are suddenly feeling attacked, and it's it's not the case. It's just this is another culture. This is another concept in which we can show characters and build worlds.
Wasn't
it's different?
Didn't somebody like call you out on that? Like somebody was saying like there's no social commentary on this movie or something.
Yeah.
Oh crap! There isn't. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you heard this.
No, but I want to.
Yeah,
I don't even know what it is, but I'm sure it's bull crap.
It was in the Tamara just saw. I sat in with Tamara and we discussed Black Panther, and there's a few comments in there saying, oh, why do you have to mention their race? Why can't they just be great actors? And there's no social commentary.
Why do you have to mention their race in a movie about black people?
Yeah, exactly.
Gee,
where they talk about
I wonder why.
Black issues. And people were like, if there was any social commentary, I didn't see it. I just enjoyed the movie. I'm like, did you listen to the soundtrack?
Yeah.
What movie were you watching?
Literally the whole movie is about a criticism of colonialism.
Exactly.
Good God.
Exactly. Killmonger's entire
They were not even subtle. I mean, I'm sorry, but they were not even subtle about it.
It wasn't subtle, but it was
interwoven. They spelled it out for you.
Yeah.
Fuck, the whole debate is whether or not they should invade.
I mean, Killmonger's last words alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says something about being on a slave ship.
You cannot ignore that. If you don't know history, like the only way you would miss that is if you didn't know history. If you just...
Well, if I remember correctly, his last words were...
T'Chaka and his brother, why they betray each other. It's just sort of like... They're even saying it like their communities are being crushed over vigilance, like their leaders are being killed. It's like, come on, they're spelling it out for you. What are you talking about?
Well, plus, if I remember correctly, Killmonger's last words were... my ancestors knew better, that it was better to die by jumping off the boat rather than be in bondage or some such thing like that.
Yeah,
I believe those were the last words. And you can't get more goddamn obvious than that.
No. My favorite one, if we're talking about being subtle, although this was not subtle, was in the first post-credit where T'Challa is addressing the United Nations, and he's saying, like, some people, they build, walls, or I forget what word he used, but we're going to build bridges.
The wise build bridges, and the foolish build walls. That's what he said.
Yeah, that was no context there. That was just a random phrase, right?
I have no idea. I actually don't remember that part of the movie with the bridges and the walls. I just remember Andy Serkis firing his mercy gun and laughing like a lunatic.
Oh god.
Thor was really fun in that movie.
He was hamming it up, man.
Oh, he wasn't. I mean, my God, we went full on human Smeagol. I mean, the guy was blasting out, laughing. His eyes were bugging. That was quintessential circus.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna have fun with this.
Yeah. Like, he read the script. He knew they were going to kill him off. So, yeah, might as well have as much fun as he can.
Well, I mean, he figures.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know he was going to get killed, honestly. I was a little disappointed when okay, guys, if you don't know, there's going to be spoilers in this. Sorry.
Spoilers!
But you should know. Yeah, he dies, like, in the middle of the second act, and I was surprised. I'm like, really?
Andy Serkis,
First of all, he was... Yeah, Andy Serkis's character, white supremacy, I think. I don't know.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
They didn't,
I mean, come on.
overtly say it, but, he pretty much was.
Come on, you can't get more obvious than that. I mean, for God's sakes, I'm pretty sure he uses a slur. He's about to use a slur, and then he gets killed.
Yeah. I mean, he referred to, like, Wakandans as, like, savages, like, the entire culture.
Yeah.
Like, you people.
Right.
He used the term you
and
people.
It's like...
Yeah, and then they kill him.
And I kind of figured Killmonger would kill him at some point. I just didn't think it was going to be so soon, because I was digging his character. He was funny.
Oh, man, yeah.
But,
I mean, I guess you could argue that it lived its purpose, but...
Yeah. Well, at least Bilbo didn't die, and yes, I'm calling him Bilbo because I don't care what the name of the movie is. At least Bilbo didn't die.
Poor Bilbo.
Because I liked him too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him Air Force
Bilbo. What they took with him?
Yeah, he was like the very unobtrusive observer.
Yeah.
The stereotypical uptight general who I thought was just going to hinder them, but no, he was actually useful to them in the third act.
No, he served his purpose. He served his purpose.
You got to give him credit. He helped.
He did.
He did get in his magic little jet plane, and he saved everybody somehow.
He flew the ship.
I almost feel like I don't know if this was on purpose or maybe it was just a coincidence, but you know how there's that trope of, like, the white man has to come and save the poor black guy or whatever. It was just sort of the reversal here, where we got to save this poor white man from
But see here, that wasn't okay, maybe in the beginning, but that wasn't even a thing. In the ending, everybody played a part to help each other. Again, another good thing. No damsels, no bullshit needing to be saved. Everybody helped everyone else in order to stop the big bad from happening, and I like that. I like teamwork. I don't like one person carries everybody else.
Right, exactly.
Everybody did it their part.
I'm glad that they did. One thing that really surprised me was M'Baku, the man-ape, like how they kept him around. I thought after T'Challa beat him that he was never going to appear again until Black Panther 2, but no, he came back and he helped. He was amazing.
Yeah, he came back. I think it was a good example of showing that there was a lot of solidarity amongst the other tribes that surrounded Wakanda. Like, there were people that were aware of, the main tribe is, clearly the leader, the bloodline, whatever. But all these other tribes had the opportunity to, take the throne, and there was like a mutual respect going on there. So, it was showing,
like he still doesn't like T'Challa, but he recognized that T'Challa saved his life. He respected that, and he did him a solid.
Right.
He stuck by his own code.
He's a man of honor. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a man of honor, and that was really cool.
And here's another thing. Remember when they were dueling? Remember when he dueled T'Challa? T'Challa beat him, but T'Challa wasn't a dick about it. He said, "Your people need you. Give up. Don't make me do this to you."
Right.
He acknowledged that he too was important, even though he was being a dick at the time. He acknowledged, "Hey, I beat you. Please don't make me kill you. Your people need you." That was really cool. I liked hearing that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Definitely.
And
then we respect each other. We need each other.
Yeah, and we got to see the contrast when that, respect is breached and, the honor is thrown out the window when Killmonger comes in. And he's just like, fuck the culture, fuck the people. We're doing things my way. He became like a full-on dictator, not respecting the people, not respecting their ways at all. But
even then, there's a layer to that, too. it's easy to get drunk on power when you've never had it, and that's what he was trying to rectify, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, he got drunk like he was doing Jaeger bombs, man. Like, that was like, what, 24 hours or less?
Well, he became a prince in like 10 minutes. Of course he's going to get immediately drunk.
Right.
Try to remember the last time you had a shot of tequila and how quick it got you to get sea legs. Same thing.
Yeah, that's
kind of like that. His rise to power was simple.
That's a great analogy.
He took a shot of power tequila and he got sea legs real quick.
He's like, I'm the king now, baby.
Yeah,
and then he got a spiffy gold suit. I really like that golden kingly Black Panther suit.
Oh God, yeah. The designs, cool. The clothing. Mm-hmm. Oh, costume was great. Costume, makeup.
It was
one subject that the movie definitely is exploring. Although I'm not sure how to address it, but there's this sort of this, maybe, I don't know if disconnect is the right word, but like, between like the African culture and the Africans, and also like how Killmonger maybe represents African Americans and,
yes.
somebody who grew up.
Yeah.
I don't know how to word it, but I like that. I really like how they were trying to clash that,
Yeah. I guess dichotomy would be a word to describe it. Just like the comparison and contrast and what it means as far as, being of African descent. Like it very much kind of paints a picture of, the comparison, like of the views of people that are African versus like, people that are of Afro descent that, live in these other countries, specifically European nations or colonized nations such as, like the US or, there's like Britain and then sure. France and, like there's Black people that exist all over the world, and we do mm-hmm. tend to face very similar social issues, and it kind of posed the conflict. The one flaw with Wakanda was that they were this great, powerful nation, and they were so walled off from the rest of the world that they were kind of ignoring, other people that needed help, and that was like one of Killmonger's motivations. That was Killmonger's father's motivation for taking the vibranium. Right. He saw that there were people of African descent, potentially Wakandan descent, that were out there suffering and over policed and mm-hmm. etc. And he wanted to help them, but Wakanda was nowhere to be found.
Nope. And he made sure to vocalize that. Where was Wakanda?
Yeah, where's Wakanda?
The dude's got a point.
I can use some of that
dude had a point.
Vibranium.
Yeah. But, well, I mean, one thing, I did enjoy that, though. I'll admit, the character, I have mixed feelings. I really like him, and at the same time, I think he could have maybe been a tiny bit better, but that was just in specific instances. But I really like his contrast. I love the fact that every one of these Africans sounds legit. They all have the accent. They all have a very formal way of speaking. And then you got this brother from the hood coming up, and he's got a total American accent.
Yeah.
He sounds like he belongs in a Will Smith movie, and he's just bringing it up.
Hi, Auntie.
Okay, my favorite one of my favorite moments of the movie was when T'Challa reveals himself walking, arms high towards him. It's like, cousin, I am still alive. The duel is not over. All with that beautiful accent, and then Killmonger just like does the head nod and just like, what's up?
Yeah, he's like, nah, we done with that challenge shit.
Yeah,
I love that. I love
brilliant.
The contrast there is so perfect.
I do. I like the fact that everyone in Wakanda is very formal in how they talk, and this dude, he's from New York. He doesn't care.
Yeah. Well, California.
I mean, California.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Oakland.
California.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I get confused because, as you know, in comic book movies, there are only two places: New York, California, and three places: New York, California, and everywhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
The three places in comic book movies. So I got confused. There we go. He's from Oakland, California.
But it's so cool. It's showing like the contrast of like the accents and dialects. How it's the origin of that accent, how it's been diluted to what Killmonger speaks in. It's so interesting, just showing that contrast. I love it. Layers.
Wakandans have layers.
Because for all the
layers.
The nitpicking, because that's what we're doing. We're all the nitpicking we're doing on Killmonger. The fact that there's layers that we can nitpick on. I mean, That's beautiful. That's what makes him one of the best, if not arguably in the top 3, in my opinion, villains in the MCU. Because like when you compare him to, I don't know, pick a random Marvel, the guy from the first Guardians.
Compare him to Loki, whose entire issue is daddy issues and jealousy.
Yeah,
and unmerited ones at that. Like every single movie, everybody's like, "We love you." He's like, "Not true. I'm going to kill people now." I'm just like, "Fuck this."
Yeah, sorry. There is one thing I wish we could have seen. Actually, I was expecting a big old... I'm not going to lie. I was expecting a big old Lion King scene like this. We never saw Bast. We never had that scene where T'Challa stands in front of Bast. We all thought it was coming. We all thought we were going to get a big old CG Panther telling him to nut up and go back there and face Killmonger, but we never got that for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, we got 2 spiritual ones with his father, so I mean that's kind of like...
Yeah, but that's not Bast though. That's like previous kings. I mean, I was expecting a big giant panther to say, "Sup? You're not
voiced by Samuel L. Jackson." Yeah.
Yeah. Get your crown back, motherfucker! You want me to say it again?
Yeah. But I don't know. Like there was not a weak character, or really weak moment. I mean,
There were no weaknesses in this movie. It's honestly, there's nothing I can actually dislike. Just 1 or 2 things I might have done different, but there's nothing I disliked, and that's very rare.
Yeah, it's an extremely solid movie in all departments, really.
Music was great. The visuals were great.
The visuals were all right. There are a few times in there where I'm kind of like, this is kind of looking like, like for Iron Man 1.
Or...
Like some of the visuals, like the CG.
Oh, you mean the action scenes, like when he's flying around and
and then some of the fight scenes too, where like they made it extra dark.
The train scene was not that great in terms of CGI. It's true. I mean, I was so into it at that point that I overlooked it. But
again, this is nitpicking. Like if I have to, criticize anything about Black Panther, which is really hard for me to do.
Well,
it is some of the the effects could use some work, but aside from that, it was still
give them credit though. The scenery was great.
Yeah, the scenery was great. I did like the action. Like it felt like there was weight behind it. I felt the sense of urgency, like the stakes.
Yeah, I mean there was a full-on civil war going on in the whole movie.
Yeah.
You don't want Wakandan weapons going out into the world. If that happened, the world would change dramatically.
Yeah.
So, the gadgets. I mean,
you don't want Wakanda to fall.
Somebody called.
You really care about Wakanda during this movie.
Somebody called T'Challa the James Bond of Marvel. I'm like, you know what? Seeing this movie, I felt that. I mean, with the gadgets and the world touring thing, it's like, yeah.
I mean, he does have a Q. He does have a Q in the form of his little sister. So
literally, watching that scene, I'm like, this is straight out of James Bond, but cooler.
Yeah, showing off the gadgets.
Yep, it's James Bond with a different kind of accent and a different kind of style, and this guy has a super suit.
Yeah, it's like Batman. It's kind of like Batman.
See, it is like Batman, except no one really... Origin's different. I mean, T'Challa loses his father in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I can see how someone would...
Yeah, but death does not define T'Challa like it does for Batman. I mean, obviously he's sad about his dad dying, but, he even gets angry at his ghost. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's more like...
That's right.
It's more for his duties and what it means. Like, he's been... he wants to be a dutiful legacy for his people.
T'Challa, represents and is responsible for a whole country. Batman is responsible for Alfred.
And I also do like how it ends. I mean, okay, I guess I shouldn't say end as much as transitions, but I do like that he tries to figure out the best of both worlds, where he doesn't fully give in to Wakandan, exposure, but little by little. We'll set up a little embassy. You're gonna run it. We're gonna show these people how awesome it is in Wakanda and how much it sucks to be you because you don't live there. And we'll go from there.
Yeah, I mean he did open like the outreach centers, for struggling youth and stuff. So I mean that's good.
Yeah, I like it. I like the ambassador of Wakanda.
I mean that final scene is just like the embodiment of the representation. We're always talking about. It's like he saw these kids, like his cousin when he was younger. That didn't really have maybe somebody to look up in that sense. Somebody who looks like them. Somebody who comes from the sort of same. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
that's what Black Panther's all about. I mean, this is something for the black kids to look up and say, "Wow, our hero kicks ass."
Yeah, exactly.
Why isn't your hero as good as ours? No, but seriously, it's nice for I mean,
people always get trapped as like, what, they can't admire the other Avengers. Yeah, they can, and they do, I'm sure. But it's just not the same on a personal level, To have somebody like Black Panther to them, it's different and it's important. So I really love the way they ended in that note.
I mean, same thing with. Bringing up another Marvel movie, Thor 3. I don't really know much about Valkyrie, but I don't know what she was in the comics, but they made her black in the movie.
Yeah. Which character?
The character was still the same. Valkyrie.
Yeah, Valkyrie from Thor 3.
Oh yeah.
Pretty sure she wasn't. Yeah, pretty sure she wasn't black in the comics, but she is now. Yeah. And just like Black Panther, now the kids have something to look up to.
Yeah, exactly. And people were like arguing, like giving very nuanced arguments about Thor. They were complaining about, this is based on Norse mythology. Why are they changing the ethnicities of characters, etc. I'm like, okay, wait. Wakanda. Yeah. Wakanda is based in like African, like it's more grounded in reality than Thor's people are. They're space aliens that exist in space. So
first of all, based on mythology. Yeah. Mythology, you can do whatever you want. Second, they're fucking aliens. They don't really have a human race, for God's sake.
Yeah, that was
they're everything you want.
Yeah, they're very much grasping at straws, like.
And third, if you don't like it, don't buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you still...
Let the people who want to love Black Panther, and y'all can go back to watching Burn Notice. Right. Whatever.
And people that love Thor will continue to watch Thor and the Marvel movies. Burn Notice.
Yeah, Marvel movies are a worldwide, thing. They want to appeal to, the entire world. That means not just that demographic. So yeah, I mean, it's important for them to reach out to everybody like that. I mean, and again, like
it is.
The points you made really speak for themselves. I mean, these are not the actual gods of that mythology, like 100% accurate. I don't know.
Right. Whereas Wakanda,
bottom line is
more in reality. Like it
is
heavily associated with our actual history. That's what sets it apart from a lot of the Marvel movies. It's like.
Yeah,
it's more.
Yeah, I don't know what they're complaining about. We've had 17 movies starting. I don't even know how many white guys named Chris. Like, what's...
Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, plus, let's be honest. As likable as the other guys are, a lot of them aren't relatable. I can't relate to a guy who had super soldier serum squeezed into him. I can't relate to a human god. I can't relate to a super genius. A guy who's based on real African tribal, tribes in Africa, and I can believe that because it's fucking real.
Yeah, someone that grew up, like struggling. Someone that lost their father that probably didn't have both their parents in their life.
Yeah. I can buy that because it's real.
Yeah, it's more,
I mean, we can be inspired by all these people. I mean, that's fine.
Sure.
You go ahead and enjoy Iron Man if that's the guy who inspires you. There's like 5 movies with him.
He's still there. That's the beauty of it. It's like he's still there, guys.
What I'm saying is, it goes along with what Malcolm said before. It's more grounded in reality, so therefore more identifiable.
Yeah, but it just goes back to what I was saying. Like, there's not a competition,
Yeah, there's no competition either.
We're just expanding. No. We're not taking away anything that was already there. That's still there. You can enjoy whenever, and they're still going to be there. It's not even a replacement.
Fantastic point right there. Because it's like, holy shit.
It's still gonna be there. Even though one guy took the spotlight for a second, that doesn't mean the spotlight's not on everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, Infinity War is like 2 months. Let Black Panther enjoy its 15 minutes, man. Like,
yes. And let Black Panther 2 Electric Boogaloo exist, as we know we want it.
Yeah,
I want Black Panther 2 Electric Boogaloo.
I would be shocked if it doesn't get a sequel.
No, dude, a sequel was announced right after the premiere, I'm pretty sure.
Good.
Yeah, good. It's just the whole thing, people acting like, now that, Black Panther's a success, that means they're not going to ever make another white superhero again. What are we going to do? Like, calm down. That's never... That's not even going to
happen again.
Yeah, we'll never get a Doctor Strange 2.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Good. We don't need a Bumblebee cucumber
the reason
to make
why
movie.
The reason why you're watching movies like Black Panther and Wonder Woman and have characters like Valkyrie pop up is because people are responding well to them. People like that diversity.
Yeah.
You know?
Guess what? It's different, and people are sick of the same.
Yeah, they want something
I'm sorry to tell you this, but if you're upset about what we're saying right now, you're in the minority. And the reason I know you're in the minority, and you should know this as well, is because the companies don't make things unless it makes them money. And these changes, these decisions to make movies like this now, is because they realize, shit, there's a whole lot of money we can make by showing other demographics. You know?
Yeah. And it's like, Up and Away.
And they're going to keep doing that.
Disney Channel's Up and Away was doing great as the leading black family movie there was for superheroes. Yeah. But, some odd, 20 years later, I think it's time for a successor.
Yeah. Yeah,
and for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, watch Disney's Up and Away. That was basically Black Incredibles, and it was pretty damn good, too.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
Right? I watched that all the time when I was a kid.
Original movies, those were the best.
Yeah, that was the movie we had before Black Panther. But now that our fine folks of darker skin are getting more attention, they get the big budget hand in the coffers.
Yeah, of course.
Now they get the big effects.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, and it's nice. It's nice.
And what are they complaining about? They're going to have Paul Rudd again in like 5 months.
Yeah, but I mean, on that though, I'm pretty sure I just saw that Black Panther was still #1 2 weeks in, and that that's
700 million and rising, baby.
That's pretty dang good.
That's damn good. I kind of want to see if it rides out next week. I want to see. I do. I want to see how long it goes before people realize that this needs to be a more continuous thing.
Yeah,
it needs to reach the billion.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get that billion mark.
Gotta get that billions.
And the moment it does, you can expect the announcements, we're making Black Panther 2 Electric Boogaloo. Oh, yeah.
Electric Boogaloo.
Again, I think they already did. I think opening weekend was all they really needed.
And, with that suit, they can make it.
Oh, yeah.
They could.
Yeah, and I certainly hope that even more groups get their superhero movie. I want to see the Latino one now.
Yeah.
I don't know which one it's going to be. I mean, we don't have that many.
Spider-Man 2099, I believe, is Latino.
Yeah, that's true. Although, I mean, by the time they get to him, come on, he's in the future.
Yeah.
It'll be 2099.
Maybe we'll get a Blue Beetle movie.
Miles Morales is mixed ethnicity.
If we're being perfectly transparent, I'm not really, whatever. I mean, Marvel, whatever, they're going to keep making movies, and if they make a Latin superhero, good for them. Really, the only Latin superhero I'm interested in, and I'd be surprised if any of our listeners knew what this was, a little gal named Cyber Six. She is a wonderful Latin character from a wonderful Latin comic book. Yes. I would be tickled pink if they made a movie about her.
This is an Argentinian animated series based on a comic. I mean, look it up. I think all 13 it was a very small one, but I think all 13 episodes are still in YouTube in English and or Spanish. So.
Yeah, they're not hard to find. You just poke around, you'll find Cyber 6 episodes. But yes, they are very good.
I like,
with the exception of Jose,
they are
very good.
I like Cyber 6 a lot, so I'm not against the movie about him. But I hate that you have to go that obscure to find one.
Yeah,
well, it's growing in popularity.
I mean,
it's just we need more.
Much like black people getting big starring roles, it's growing in popularity.
Yeah, the problem, Malcolm, is that they haven't even cracked Justice League right. What are the chances they're going to do Blue Beetle?
Yeah, man, I like Blue Beetle.
Well, I love Blue Beetle. I would be down for a movie with him. And there's not that many Latino characters on either side. I mean, we're getting a few more, but they're still too small or obscure. Like in Marvel, you got America Chavez. But Miles Morales, like you said, is half and half, so that could count, certainly. The DC side, the only Latinos I know are Blue Beetle, Bane, which, I mean, he's a villain, so they're not going to make that movie. And I guess Vibe.
Question. There's Question.
The second Question.
Yeah.
Why not?
The one that everybody, the one aside from the original that everybody recognizes. Come on, everybody knows her.
Yeah, but I mean, if they haven't even made, again, DC, they're so behind. It's like by the time they get to that, I'm going to be an old man.
Well,
will they ever fix the DC universe? Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe. We'll see. Hopefully.
Who knows?
Here's hoping Flashpoint can do that.
For the time being, we'll have to settle with big black cats.
Yeah. I like that.
We love big black cats, so...
Mao.
Last thing I'm going to say about the Black Panther, though, I really hope that it washes away the Ugandan Knuckles crap.
Yeah, I do too. I'm so done with that meme. I'm so done with that meme.
I think everybody is by this point.
Please make it stop.
Yeah,
like all memes,
more Wakanda, less.
You know, people saying that instead of quoting Ugandan Knuckles and show the way, how about you just say Wakanda forever? That's so much better, isn't it?
Yeah, Wakanda forever.
Yeah. Anyway, before I get accused of any more of this crap, I'm gonna go ahead and cut off here and just conclude that Black Panther rocks, and you should see it so it can be number 3, so it can be number 1 3 weeks in a row. Go do it now, I command you.
Hell yeah.
And remember to like, subscribe, check our projects, follow these wonderful gentlemen in whatever social media they have. And thank you all. Join us next week when we'll talk about something else.
I don't know, I guess Black Panther, so White Tiger? No, that wouldn't work. We'll figure something out next week. So long, everybody.